Hi, Sam.
Hi, Abby. How's your cousin doing?
He's doing good. He just turned 13 the past, what was it, 3 months ago? Yep. Recently, I told you about how, like, last fall, he had, that diagnosis with Fanconi anemia, which is, like, that basically means, that his life prognosis is probably about, like, when he's, like, 20 something, which kind of sucks, but we're, like, staying hopeful. So we're like, he had to go through that bone marrow transplant, and so like when we had his birthday like 3 months ago, it was just like huge. Like we threw like a huge party for him, so it was like a really big deal because it was kind of like a milestone.
Yeah.
We used to have those when he was like little, because when he was first born, he had a heart defect and a heart deficiency. When his mom was taking him home on like the 3rd day of the hospital, he just like turned purple and he couldn't breathe.
Because of his temperature?
No, because of his heart. His heart wasn't working right, so they like had to turn around, rush him to the hospital, and then I think like a year later or something, he was really small. They had to give him a heart transplant.
Yeah.
He had to get a little boy's heart, which is like bittersweet because it's like we were really happy that he got a heart that works, but like we also knew what had to happen in order for him to get that heart.
Yeah.
So he used to have like that kind of problem. So then we used to throw really big parties, like basically like signifying like, oh my gosh, like we were so scared when he was born. Like it's such a big deal that he's like 3 years old, 4 years old.
So it was always his birthday?
Yeah, and then we thought we were out of the woods and stuff, but having a heart defect when they're first born is actually a sign of Fanconi anemia. So that's something that kind of sucks. So I feel like we're back to having like big birthdays for him again, but like for me.
What exactly is that?
Fanconi anemia?
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure. It's a really rare type of anemia. Basically, his red blood cell count's off. The disease by itself doesn't really do anything. It's because it like messes up his red blood cell count. It's not like the anemia that actually kills him. It's like the things that come along with it. So because it messes up his red blood cell count, like over half of the patients develop leukemia. So it's like basically like it's kind of like a guaranteed write-off for cancer or some type of like awful disease, which sucks, but
yeah. And then you said he got a bone marrow transplant?
Mm-hmm.
When was that?
That was this past October.
Mm-hmm. And then before that, like what treatment was he getting before? Do you remember? Was he
wasn't
like blood transfusions or anything?
No, because like we found out in like September. That's when he had he always had like nosebleeds when growing up, but then one night he had a nosebleed that lasted from when he went to bed to when he woke up at 4 a.m. and he got sick from it because there was just so much blood. So his mom freaked out, took him to the hospital, and then they started running tests, and that's when they found out. So then, like when they found out, they were like, "Oh, like he really needs this bone marrow transplant." So it kind of like they didn't do anything until they gave him the transplant like a month later. So
yeah, that's good. Because then the transplants helped, right?
Yeah, and his cells actually responded like really, like I don't remember the statistics, but the doctors were really impressed. They were basically, I think it was like 99.9% of his cells were like accepting the other girls. He had a woman donate her bone marrow to him, and he gets to meet her next year, which is really exciting.
Aww, that's
yeah,
awesome.
I know.
I always love watching things like about that.
I know. It's so cute. So yeah, he did it through Be the Match. So now, like, our family, we push Be the Match like crazy. Because, like, that's, like, what saved Dylan. Like, and it's so easy to just, like, see things like Be the Match, and you're like, oh, that's great. But then when it happens to someone that close to you, you're like, they're like, someone like that literally saved my cousin.
Yeah.
Or, like, if it was my sister, like, you just can't even imagine. So I signed up recently, and, like, my whole family signed up, so.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
So he gets to meet her. So, but like one of the things with that is like, you don't get to meet them until like, I think like you can't even be in contact with them for a certain amount of months, and then when you can contact them, you can do like a postcard. So like you can do like a written hand letter. You can't say your name. You can't say, I think you can say if you're a boy or a girl, but you really just can't give any personal information. And then I think a year after that, that's when you can meet them. I think that's how it works. I think it's like a year or 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then
We think it's a girl because she like wrote in her letter. We got her letter like a month or so ago.
Yeah.
And it was like pretty girlish handwriting, and also she said like in her letter, like she's like it's so amazing to help you. She's like, I don't know if she knows Dylan's a kid, but I think when they're kids, you the bone marrow transplant, the way it works, a lot of the times they'll grab from your hip. You have to get actual surgery, and I think she had to do that. But she mentioned something about her little one. She's like, I'll hold my little ones a little like tighter tonight, knowing that like you're okay and you're doing well. Like, I know, oh,
sweet.
But I'm gonna cry. But yeah, so it's really cool.
That's good though. And he's doing good now, so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of cynical about it. I mean, I know the family. I never talk like this, obviously, around the family, like, but
yeah.
I'm kind of cynical about it just because, like you said, like he's doing good now, but I'm like in my head, I'm like 4 now. Like I don't know. I need to work on that because like, and James's, my boyfriend's sister, she's a nurse. She even worked on the Fanconi anemia unit, and she like actually got to see Dylan.
Oh.
When he was in the hospital. She got to like give him some treatments and stuff.
Yeah. Did she know who he was?
Mm-hmm, because I told her.
Yeah.
So she knew who he was going in. She said he was cute. She's like, he's a little ginger hair. He's really cute. But she told me, she's like, you should stay positive because he is so young. And she's like, you never know what kind of treatments are going to come along. Yeah. She's like, what if there's like a breakthrough like 4 or 5 years from now? Like where people can live, like I know, like for example, like I know like cystic fibrosis patients are lived like till they're like 40 or something now, which is like awesome. So yeah, I gotta stay positive. Yeah, but
just really like cherish the time at home.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. There's these guys that they bike literally across the U.S. There's these 2 guys, and they bike for Fanconi anemia. And on their trek across the U.S., each day they dedicate a day to a Fanconi anemia patient.
Really? I've never heard about that before.
So on Dylan's birthday, it was like they like put up their Facebook post. They're like, today we're biking like 100 miles or something for Dylan Gerhardt, and then they like told his story. And they're like, a couple months ago, Dylan like was kind of close to death, like, and now he's like celebrating his 13th birthday today with all his family.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So that's really cool. And then I know he gets a Make-A-Wish Foundation thing. He's so cute. So he gets to actually do like a Make-A-Wish, and he wants like a trampoline playhouse in his backyard. Like he wants like a swing set, but of trampolines. I was like, okay. And he like wants, he's so cute though. I'm wondering if he wants to do like engineering or something like that, because he like actually like drew up for the people like what exactly like where he wants each trampoline and stuff, and he did like he colored in like the colors he wanted and how he even measured it out and everything.
Really?
Mm-hmm. So
great. And so like during like this time, has he like missed any school, or how's his school?
Yeah, he missed school all last year, and he actually, I forgot when he started, but I think he went back like I don't know if raw schools start. They start kind of late. He's either started this week or he's going to start. So he's really excited to be back. Because he didn't, like with a bone marrow transplant, like your immune system's knocked out. You can't.
Yeah.
Like you can't see anyone. So for a while there, he was just like completely isolated. He only got to see his mom. And like even when he came to our Thanksgiving and Christmas, like he only got to stay for like 10 minutes. And then he had to go home. So.
Does he have any siblings or anything?
Yeah, he has an older sibling, Ethan, which I can only imagine like how hard it is on Ethan, especially too because Ethan wanted to donate his bone marrow, but he wasn't a match. They found out.
Yeah.
So like when they found that out, it was really hard. But I just can't imagine really hard knowing your baby brother has like, cause he's like me and like how me and my sister are. There's only 2 of them, and they're about like the same age apart and everything. So like all I think about is like Lauren. Like I can't imagine Lauren having something that's scary and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard.
Yep.
How he's just a few years apart from him then?
Mhm. Yeah.
And he's perfectly fine.
Yeah, he's fine now. He plays sports and I think I forget what he's gonna play this next year. He's gonna play baseball. He likes baseball a lot. I don't think he plays any other sports. His brother Ethan, he plays baseball, basketball, football, track, literally every sport ever. And he gets now what he does, I forget what Dylan's number is. I think Dylan's favorite number is 7.
Mm-hmm.
So now his school lets him for every sport he has. He's allowed to have that number for Dylan.
Yeah.
And then he like has wristbands for his team, like those rubber ones that like fight for Dylan.
Yeah.
And his mom wants to do like, she wants to go so hard like with Fanconi anemia, like letting people know. She wants to do all these events that like she's like, my goal is to be like on the news having a giant event. Like you know how like Colby and Kate is up here in Indy?
Yeah.
She wants like that, but for Dylan, essentially.
Yeah.
So like they're trying to like do all these events. They did something. I was up here at school, so I didn't get to go home. But I think it was like a golf outing or something, and they raised like $4,000 or something, which was really cool. So he's got like a huge support system. So I think right now everyone's just really happy because he's like out of the woods right now and he's healthy, and we're all just trying to like advocate for what he does. But it's still weird because like it's just like the dynamic's never going to be the same again. I can tell even when we get together, like family get-togethers, everyone, I feel like they're kind of like, or even when he's there, like we're just like staring at him. I feel like it's not like when he was a little like punk kid before like before he was sick, like we're all like, hey Dylan, and like he was treated like all the other grandkids. There's like 16 of us, so like, and we're all there, so like it's usually pretty crazy. But now I feel like when he's there, we're like, hi Dylan, like how are you, and like
give him a little bit more attention.
Yeah, but I feel like it's also a little weird. Like it's kind of like, to me, it's like a little unsettling, even though like I do the same thing.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, it's weird how I feel like we kind of tiptoe around him now. So, but I've noticed, I think he's like grown to appreciate, like, because when he had the bone marrow transplant, he was so quiet before. Like when he came to family outings, like he was also like in his angsty stage. He was like 11, so he was like, everything's lame.
Yeah.
He would like come to those and like not say anything to any of us. Yeah, he would sit on his phone and like everything we did, he's like, you guys are lame. Like he would say that.
Yeah.
But then I think like when he was like I think he's really scared, and it just like breaks my heart knowing that like he's 13. He knows what this is. He has to.
Yeah.
I don't think his mom ever says it, but like he has a phone. He can look up what he has. Like so like I just like don't even know what he thinks about it. But I've noticed since when he had the bone marrow transplant and when he had to be pulled out of school and he couldn't, it was only him and his mom and his dad. That's the only people he got to see for like a period of like 4 months, and then like his brother for like 2 months onto that. Like he was so alone. So like I think like now when he comes to family outings, like he's so out of his shell and he loves hanging out with us, and he always wants to come to game night and stuff now. He got like all of us, all the kids, like last time we got together. We have like a group Snapchat of all the grandkids now. He got on it. He's like, bring your DS. And we're like, okay. And we all played Mario Kart. It was really fun. And we got in like chat room, and the chat room on Nintendo. It wasn't appropriate. Let's just say that. It was really funny. But so it's like bittersweet because like I feel like now I feel like we kind of took advantage of, like, it was scary when he was little, and then he was fine, and then we're like, oh, he's healthy, like, he's fine. Yeah. And now I feel like we're kind of back to that, but I feel like we really cherish him, and...
Yeah, and I'm sure he cherishes the side.
Yeah, he does. So. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad he's doing better.
Thanks. I am too. Yeah, like I said, I just, like, worry about him from time to time, and, like, every time we see... I think I'm going to see him this weekend, actually. Oh. yay. I love my mom's side. They are like my favorite people in the world. They're like why I am in Cincinnati and like why I never want to leave Cincinnati.
Yeah.
So, like,
Does most of your family live there?
yeah, they all live there.
Oh, they do?
Mm-hmm. Love it. So, but I think I get the same this weekend. So, but yeah, I just like every time I see him and from time to time when I'm up here at school, I just think about him and I'm just worried. I'm like, I hope there's nothing going on in his body. Like, I hope there's nothing growing in places that stuff shouldn't be growing and stuff like that. So, but
Stay hopeful.
I mean, even before this though, it's just been like, it's weird because his situation has been like, it's not like he got sick and then we took him to the hospital because he was feeling sick. He only went to the hospital because he had that nosebleed that made him throw up because like the blood was sitting in, I mean, it's gross, but his blood was sitting in his stomach and it made him sick. So that's like why she took him, because she thought he was throwing up blood, which like he was, but like not, it wasn't like there was something, but like he never had, like he was never sick as a kid, he's not sick now, like he's fine. The only thing that made him sick was obviously like the bone marrow transplant. He wasn't feeling good, like that's really hard. But like other than that, he's had like no symptoms, and like I know for a lot of other Fanconi anemia patients, it's like a different situation. Yeah. So like we're really lucky. Like he really has been like he's like the epitome of health. It's just like it's kind of like one of those things where just like we know he has it. And it's, I hate to say it, but it's like we're kind of just waiting for it to get bad. So.
I feel like everyone's like that with, like, usually with, like, cancer and, like, things like that. You're just kind of, it's okay for now, but there is a chance.
I know, and it's, like, I always wonder, too, like, if I ever got that, like, how would you not just, like, live your whole life? You're like, yeah, I'm good now, but when's it gonna, like, do you always wonder, like, are you always like wondering like around the corner like, oh, can I say this time next year? Like, it's just crazy. So, but he's doing really good. I'm super proud of him. He's super good. He's out of the show. Super cute. Good.
Well, thanks for talking with me about it.
Thanks.